me, Chris Colley. I am in Rochester Hills, Michigan in the rubber room. And it's More Fun Monday on Tuesday. I had some appointments yesterday and they ran a little bit long, and so I wasn't able to get here to you. So I'm coming today instead. I'm just going to make sure I'm in the right spot, and hopefully I'm centered so you guys can see me. Let's see where I am. It's a really nice day here in Michigan. The sun is shining. All of the snow has melted. And for those of you that don't know, I am on a golf course. And so there's lots of golfers out today. Lots of deer out there. It's just like a spring kind of day here, which I'm excited about. I like spring. I'm looking forward to that. Here are my card classes. This Saturday and Sunday are my Stampin' Celebration card classes. I have 3 classes. They're $15 each. You can sign up for all 3 of them, one of them, however many you want. And you can sign up to take a class on Saturday or on Sunday. And they are from 1 until 4. You make 2 of each card for a total of 6 cards. And the fee is free with a minimum $25 order, or you can pay $15 for the class. If you are a Rubber Room Rambler, I do offer a team discount where you purchase half a class, which is 3 cards. You make 1 each of all 3 cards, and it is a total of $5. So the first class that we're going to do is the Measure of Love, and we're going to do this card. This card with the cupcakes. I love those cupcakes. I think they're so fun. And then this one. So these all use the designer paper that is the Hostess set in our annual catalog, along with this stamp set. And this stamp set is called the Measure of Love. It has 4 different sentiments in it, and then about 13 different stamps. So you have a total of 17 stamps in here altogether. So that's going to be our first class. Our second class is going to be made with this Easter Friends stamp set. This is one of my favorite stamp sets. I just love that bunny. I like that kind of sketch image. I think that's a lot of fun. So we'll be making this card, which is a little bit of a fun fold card. So it opens like that. I think that's kind of fun. And then we have this one with a little duckling kind of running around on it. And then this one. Oh, got a little something on there. This one with the bunny. This is a perfect Happy Easter card. I really like that one. And then we have a little bonus with our third class, and it features the Hey Chick stamp set, Hey Birthday Chick stamp set, which is this one. And this one is actually a bundle, so it has the dies that coordinate with it. I love this there's a little fence in here, some happy birthday words, a little flower sack, lots of really good dies in that one. And we are going to be using the ombre paper, the ombre 6x6 paper, which was available in the Celebration catalog last winter. So you have different colors in here, and you have the solids and then the little circle stripe. And everybody who signs up for that class will get a half a pack of that designer series paper. So here are the cards we're going to make. This one has a little fold like this on it. Just very fancy. And then we have this one. And then we have another kind of fun fold, which is this one. So those are the 3 cards that we're going to make for our third class. And like I said, you'll get a little bonus with that class. Today we're going to make cards. I shared this card with you last week when we did the pop-up cards. So if you remember this one from last week, it's the All Squared Away stamp set. That stamp set is part of the sale that's going on right now, and it is only $40 for the bundle. So it's this one here. You have these great kind of square background stamps to it, and then you have these 5 different sentiments. So it's a total of 9 different stamps, and then you have these really cute dies. I have a couple of them out because we're going to be using them, but they're these square dies that have flowers in them. They're really unique. In fact, I did a class with these for my catalog kickoff last year because I was certain that it was going to be one of those sets that would be kind of overlooked in the catalog. So we made some really cute cards with it, and we're going to make a few cards today with it too. And like I said, it is on sale for an extra 10% off and through the end of this month. So this first card we're going to make, I did this one. And this is the Altogether paper from the Altogether suite of products that's available right now. And so we're going to use a different pattern from that paper today. And what I did was I took the paper, the Designer Series paper, and then I took my blends. So I did my light polished pink blend and just colored in a few of those hearts on there. So we'll start off with this piece of paper, which is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal on it, and that's going to go inside my card. When it's a dark card, I always like to start out with that white piece on the inside for us. And then we're just going to do some simple layering. So I'm going to take a piece of polished pink that is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to set that right on top of my black card base. Now my card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored the 11-inch side at 5 1/2. So then my Designer Series piece of paper is 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm just going to layer that up next. And then I'm going to layer my words up. And I've stamped my words in my Memento black, Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and stamped them on a piece of the polished pink cardstock. And I'm going to pop my words up with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the back of here. For those of you that didn't see my post earlier, we do have some price increases coming with our new catalog. Cardstock is one of them, and the shipping is also going to go up. So now is a great time for you to place your orders and save on some of those consumable products that you use all the time. Those things you know you're going to have that they're going to go up in price. Okay, so for these 2 black pieces, I've used my dies to cut that frame out. And it cuts the whole thing out with a flower in it and all. So I'm going to take a little bit of my glue, and I'm going to put that on the back of my die. And these are kind of skinny pieces, so I find that this glue works best, is the best working adhesive for back there. And I'm going to glue both of them at the same time because I think this glue sticks a little better after it's had a chance to get sort of tacky. So I'm going to glue them and let them kind of sit for a minute. And I'm going to put this one up here. Maybe right there. I'm not going to stick it down until I get them both on there, and I want to make sure that I have enough room for both of them. So this one's got to come up a little bit. So you're probably best to start with that bottom one. And then we'll put this one on. And I guess I put my words up a little bit high. Maybe that's where I should start. I guess I'll leave them there. Let's see if I can still get this one up. Oh. Nope, so we're gonna make these two touching. Okay? So those two are gonna go right together like that. And then I'm going to use my glue, and I've cut out these pieces of flowers. They're actually different dies than these, but they go right on top of them. And let's see. I am missing a flower die here. Okay, so we'll put this one on. Okay, and I'm gonna put this one on kind of little kitty wampus a little bit, so that you can see the black part of my flower too. And that one goes there. I'm going to put it off a little kitty wampus again, kind of towards the side. And here's my big one. And we'll do the same thing with this one. And I'm just kind of going down and then over to the left a little bit. Okay? And then I have one of these flowers that I cut. So I'm going to put that right in there. But I want to put the cut piece kind of behind it a little bit. So I'm going to use some glue dots for this because it's a little bit small. So I'm going to bring in some glue dots here. I'm going to put one on the top of it. And then I'm just going to take the 3 pieces I cut out and just kind of put them like that. Okay? And I am going to bring in some more glue for the back of this. And then I'm going to put this on that top flower. So it's going to kind of go up and around like that. Okay? And then I'm just going to bring in some of these classic matte dots. And I'm going to put one of these little tiny black ones in the center of each of those flowers. And my sample is kind of a negative of this. So you'll get to see what it looks like with a white background and then with a black one. So on this one, they're black pieces with their cutouts. And then on my sample, they're white pieces. Okay, so here's this one. How pretty is that, you guys? I think that's so pretty. I love that combination of the polished pink with the black. And then here it is in the white. Okay, so you have two. They look really different just because of the different colors on top. But they're both really, really pretty cards. All right, so let's move on to card number 2. This one's going to give you a little bit of a different look from the squares. Okay, so this is going to be the card we're making. And I'm going to bring in our little mini Stampin' Emboss machine. This is the machine that's on sale this month. Cute, cute little machine, right? It folds up like this. And that's what it is, you guys. How fun is that? Just this little machine right here with a handle that cranks. And you can easily lift it. I can lift it with one hand. So, and it's on sale for I think $48. It's less than 50 bucks. But you can pull both sides down. It will do anything that the big machine does, only smaller. So if you travel, this is a great machine to have. Because like I said, when I'm traveling, I want to take everything with me. And it gets heavy, it gets cumbersome, and I don't really need everything. So this little guy will do what the big guy does in a smaller amount of space. Okay, so that just cuts my little die right out. And then again, you do have with this one the same thing you have with the big one. So you have your base plate that has all of the pictures with your mat on there. So you have all of your little layers and all of that right at your fingertips like you do with the big one. All right, and it cuts out very nicely. See how that just kind of popped right out there? I want to put that die someplace where I won't lose it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. The 8.5 side is scored at 4 1/4. And then I'm just going to burnish that on my score line. And that's going to be my card base. Okay. I'm going to take some Evening Evergreen and stamp my sentiment. I use the same sentiment for all of the cards we're doing tonight. It says, "You are so worth celebrating." Just going to ink that up. Make sure my card is opening the right way. And if I get my cardstock straight on my grid paper, the chances that my stamping is going to be straight are much greater. So, I think that's pretty straight. Okay, and then I am going to, we're going to do a little bit of surgery. I have cut out 3 of these dies, and then I've also cut out some flowers in magenta and Magenta Madness. This is Mango Melody, and then a Highland Heather. So I wanted this to be kind of a really bright card that pops a little bit. So I'm going to bring in my snips, and I also cut out these frames that coordinate with those flowers. Okay, so I'm going to start off by gluing, I'm going to get that piece out of the way. So I'm going to start off by gluing these flower tops on here. And I'm just going to bring in my green glue, and one of them, we're just going to do the big flower and not the little one. That's going to be our middle piece. So we're going to have 2 with 2 flowers on either end, and then just 1 flower in the middle. Okay? And I'm just going to pop these pieces right on there. And I'm going to put these on first because that's going to give me a line to cut on. And you'll see what I mean, because we're going to cut these frames right off, and we're just going to use the stem part. So you don't really have to use this frame if you don't want to. These are very versatile dies, and they're very fun. Like I said, when I did my catalog kickoff for my team, we used this stamp set. In fact, I'm going to do those cards for you tomorrow. During lunchtime live. I'm going to do 3 of those cards with you. I think I've done them on a video before, but I'm going to pop them on there again just because they're nice and fun, and because I want you guys to see how versatile they are. And it's such a great deal at only $40. So that's what we're going to do at lunchtime live tomorrow. We'll do 3 cards instead of our usual 1 card. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go in And it doesn't matter where you start, but we're just going to trim this green frame off. Okay. Are you with me? We're just going to go around. And you can see, there we go. And we're going to kind of give this flower a little bit of a pointy edge that we kind of have to make. We're going to trim right across the top of these flowers. And that's why I put that piece on first, so that gives us a kind of a guide to where we're going to cut. Okay, and then we're going to do this over here. So we've got kind of that little pointy flower edge there. And then I'm just going to go in and snip off that little green piece at the top. Okay, so that's our first one. And our Highland Heather, we're going to do the same way. I actually will start down here where my leaves are. Oh, but I cut that one a little too close, but that's okay because we can still work it in. Set it right there so we don't lose it. And then just come across and cut the green off the top. And right here on the edge. We're going to cut off some leaves with our next one. There we go. And again, I'm going to come in and just snip that little tiny piece right there at the top. All right. So there's our purple one. There's a little tiny piece hanging there that's driving me crazy. There we go. All right, so I'm going to keep this little flower or this little leaf part here. So when I glue it down, I can glue that part with it. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to cut off this leaf and this leaf. So it's going to go like that. And across here. And around that flower. And we're going to go up there. And then we're going to cut right in here. And that's going to be our third flower. And again, I'm going to have to go in. And can you guys see how tiny those little pieces are there? And I'm just going to snip those off. Okay, so that's going to be our middle piece there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these over. And we'll put glue on them. You could obviously put whatever kind of adhesive you want, but my glue is right here. And so that's what I'm going to do. And your glue also will let you move just a little bit if you need to. Where if you put your tape on, you're kind of pressing your luck to have to move it. So that's what I'm going to do, is use my glue. I'm not sure which way this piece is going to go. So I'm going to leave it for now and then put it on in a minute. Okay. So I'm going to start over here. with this piece. Oh, let me get in there so you guys can see what I'm doing. Sometimes I forget you're with me. And then it's gonna be this piece. And I'm gonna put them just so they're leaning just a little bit. And that's where using that glue kind of comes in a little bit handy. And again, go here. I forgot to cut that piece off, you guys. I'm gonna go in and do it right now. There we go. And I'll come back in and clean up my little glue mark. But that's gonna let me move this one over. And I'm gonna tilt it down. Okay? So there we go. We have all our flowers on there. I'm gonna put this piece back on. You know, actually, I think I'm not going to. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it just like that. I think we'll be okay with it. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a glue, and I'm gonna put it on my piece of ribbon. Wow, did I get this one really high up? Let's see what's happening here. Okay. I'm gonna put some glue dots on the edges. So you have that trim right there, that dark trim, and I'm just gonna put some glue dots or some glue in little dots on the edge of that ribbon. Okay? And this is the Evening Evergreen ribbon. And I'm gonna put that at the bottom there. So it looks kind of like grass. How adorable is that? And I can see I've got some glue in here. So I'm just gonna go in with my adhesive remover and pick it up. I love this adhesive remover because it just picks it right up off the paper and gets rid of that kind of yucky little mess looking. So you get that nice, clean, crisp look for your card. A little bit there. Okay. So there we go. Man, I got glue everywhere on that one, didn't I? And I'm going to pop some of these. These are our 2021-2023 in color jewels. So I'm going to use some of these light purple ones. I think those would be really pretty on there. And let's take these little ones, I think. Kind of go there. Down in there, and this one's getting away from me, huh? Up in here. There we go. Okay, so we've done a couple things different on this card. So here are both of the colors on here. And you can see I popped this one up. So I did pop this little Mango Melody one up on here. And then we took the leaf off this one. So really pretty cards. This one I used the Evening Evergreen gems on. And this one we used those purple ones. I think those are Fresh Freesia. So really pretty, pretty spring card in those colors. And then we have one more. This one we use lots of fun goodies on. Trying to keep my spot clean here. I have a team meeting tonight at 7. So in between this and that, I'm going to fix some dinner and hopefully be able to get back and have a clean spot to do for the team meeting tonight. So this is one we're going to do now. This one I really like. We're going to use a different designer series paper on it, but I think this one is just so fun. I think it just kind of screams spring, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to start off with, gotta get my space all clean here, a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and again, this one is 5.5 by 8.5, and we've scored the 8.5 side at 4 1/4. Just gonna burnish that score line, and this is gonna be our card base, okay? And then this piece is 5 1/4 by 4. And what I did was I embossed it with this stitched greenery folder. And you can see that it really is like stitches when you get it on here. I think that is so pretty. So it just kind of seemed perfect for the background for flowers, right? So I'm going to attach this first. And again, this piece is 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to attach it right to the front of my card. Well, my card is going to open this way. So I want to attach it here. Okay. And then this piece is going to go on. This piece is 4 by 3 3/4, I think is what it measured going up. But let me just make sure. I wanted it to be more than half of this piece here. So it is 3 1/4, not 3/4. It's 3 1/4. So 4 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to take some of the twine. Our twine comes in a pack like this. And there are 5 spools in it. And they're 5 different colors. So it's kind of a really cool pack. And I'm going to attach it to the back of my paper using a little glue dot. So I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back of my DSP on both sides. And I'm going to wrap my ribbon around there twice. So I'm just going to attach my ribbon right to, or my twine right to that glue dot and wrap it around and be sure it catches the glue dot on the back side. And then it's going to come back around and I'm just going to then cut it off with my big paper snips right here. My ribbon scissors. Do you guys all have a favorite pair of ribbon scissors? I don't know why Stampin' Up! Does not sell those anymore, but I just keep taking mine and having them sharpened. So if you happen to get them when they were still current, keep on sharpening them. So then I'm just going to put some adhesive on my designer series paper. This is from that tulip paper. I'm actually having my spring fling later this month, and we're using that tulip paper. It is so gorgeous. I love all the colors in it. Both of these pieces of designer series paper are from that pack. Okay, so I'm just going to add it on top like that. And I am going to, I think I'll tie my bow next, and then that part will be out of the way. So I'm going to do that double bow, and I'm going to, this comes out kind of circular almost. So I'm just going to take my bow folder, put my finger on top of my ribbon or twine, and do that with it. And that kind of keeps it from getting all roly-poly. So I'm going to do a double bow. So I'm just going to double up my twine. Okay, so I actually will have 2 pieces of twine. I'm going to cut it. And then I'm just going to do my bunny ears. And the other side of it is still attached to my spool. And I'll cut that once I've got my bow all made and pretty like I like it. Let's see, I might need to go up just a tiny bit. Okay. It gets a little tricky when you're doing it with a double. Like that. And I obviously have not given myself enough ribbon here, so that makes it a little bit trickier even. So I'm just going to do over and under. There we go. And I just pull it tight, and then I'm gonna put my finger on the top, my thumb on the top and the bottom of the loop, and then pull our twine through, just to get the bow a more balanced size. And we'll get it tight and just, okay, I think that is gonna be a good size for us. One a little bit bigger, I think. One of the loops is bigger than the other one. Okay. So that looks like it will work. And we'll just trim them off. And then we'll set this aside. And I have taken a piece of, this is just jade. This color is one of the ones that's going to be retiring. It was an in color from 2019 to 2021, and so it will be going, right? I love that color. There's some good ones going, cinnamon cider, and it's going to be tough. Okay, so I did that, and then what I'm going to do is I want this whole piece to be popped up. So I'm taking a piece of foam adhesive sheets. These sheets come in a pack that are this size. And I think you get 4 sheets in a pack. Okay? So it's kind of like a whole sheet of a dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off one side, and it's sticky on both sides, just like dimensionals are. And I have a piece of paper that I've already cut that's basic white. I'm just going to put that right on top of there. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my die, and I'm going to die cut it. I've never die cut the sticky sheet on this little machine. Let's see if it works on the little one. We might have to bring in the big die for this one, but let's try it on the little one and see. It has the same sandwich that I would do with a regular piece of cardstock or designer series paper. So let's just, I think it's gonna work. Even though it's a little bit thicker, it is smushy. I'm gonna bring it back to just to make sure it's gonna go through there. I wanna be sure it's cutting all the way through because I don't have to really poke those pieces out. All right. Well, let's see how we did. Oh yeah, you can see I cut them all the way through. So we're good. This little baby did the big job, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna peel off my adhesive, and I'm gonna punch these big pieces through, and I'm going to actually save those because I can use those for little punches later on. And you can see that did a really nice job of cutting. I'm impressed by that little machine. And I love these big sticky sheets, the foam adhesive. I especially like to do them when I'm doing letters. Pop them right up. Let's see, I might need my pick tool to get these off. All right. Okay, now I'm going to take this green piece. And I'm gonna cut my frame off again, okay? Because I want this white frame to really pop that green flower piece. So I'm gonna cut right where those frame lines are. So actually what I'm doing is just cutting the frame off. So I'm cutting on that inside line. So you can see my frame is just gonna pop right off. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of curve these pieces just a little bit. Okay, so you can see this is going to fit right on here like this. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to use some of my glue. And remember that top part was sticky, but I put my white cardstock on it. So now it's not sticky anymore. So I'm going to have to use my green glue to stick this part on with. Okay. There we go. All right. And then I cut a piece of Whisper White that is 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. Your die is about a 2 1/8 square. So I'm just going to place this right on the back of it. It is sticky back there. And I'm going to trim it up just a little bit. I want those pieces hanging over. All right. And then I cut out 2 pieces of designer series paper for the flowers, because I want the flower top to match this. And it's just going to add a little bit more color to it also. So I'm going to just add some glue onto my Just Jade piece of paper there. And then put my designer series paper right over top of it. Okay. And then this piece is going to go right inside, so I'm just going to add a little bit of, got it all closed up and ready to go, right? A little bit of snail there, and then a little bit of snail on this Whisper White frame piece. Okay, and I want to put my bow on there. So I'm going to put my bow on with a little glue dot. I'm putting my bow on first, so that will kind of give me a placement for my frame. Okay, so then my frame, let's get this in there where you guys can see it. It's gonna go right about there. Okay, and then you get that really nice popped up look, but it still looks nice and crisp. So we're gonna put this on the inside of the card, just so the inside has a nice little coordinated look and is tied in with the front of the card. Okay, now I stamped our sentiment, and I'm going to just give it kind of a wonky cut here. Just a little angle cut. And here I'm going to leave it straight because I want to line it up right with the edge of the card. And I'm going to put that on with some dimensionals. Here we go. Here we go. And you can see I didn't like how I stamped it the first time, so I just turned my piece of cardstock over and stamped it on the other side. That's one nice thing about our cardstock is you can use both sides. And they both look nice. Okay, so I'm going to put that down there. And I'm going to actually use, these are our holiday rhinestones. I love this pack of rhinestones because they come in so many different colors. You have gold and red and green and a light blue and a dark blue. They're so pretty. And I think I'm going to use one of these kind of gold ones. I think that will make that kind of pop over there. There we go. Okay, so that is 4 great cards, right? So you have this one, and then this one I did in the Puppy Parade. Okay, so those are 2, and you really, your designer series paper gives it such a personality. This one is kind of soft and a little bit more subtle. You could even use this one for a sympathy card if you wanted to. This one would make a great birthday card. I like that kind of Puppy Parade color to it. So there's those 2. And then we have these 2. And these 2 with the light and the dark. So we have 3 of them, I guess we made. And then this was the one we did last week, which was our pop-up. Okay, so that's your squared away, all squared away. And I am going to do 3 more cards with it tomorrow at noon. And don't forget our classes. We have the Hey Chick birthday class with your fun fold. And this kind of fun fold here. And then this one that opens top and bottom. And remember, this one comes with the half a pack of the Ombre Designer Series paper. Okay, then we have the Easter Friends, which is this beautiful Easter bunny here. And then your little chick. And then this one with the tulips again and that kind of fun fold. And then the Measure of Love, which is going to be these 3. And you again can sign up for 1, 2, or all 3 of them. They're all free with a minimum $25 purchase, or you can pay $15 for them. And if you are a Rubber Room Rambler team member, you can do a half a class with 1 of each card for only $5 per class. Thanks for tuning in, you guys, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Have a great afternoon, or have a great evening. Bye-bye.